they're interested in getting cattle or in their first 5 years of owning beef cattle, and we go through all the basics that you would need to think about over the process of 8 weeks. So we just finished week 5 yesterday, where we talked about grazing and forages and some considerations there, and then we've got 3 more weeks, so we'll be talking about nutrition, animal health, emergency planning, and kind of a summary of everything that we've talked about, so a recap. So that's been going really good. We have, I want to say 25 or 26 people actually in the class. So that is, we do a live session every Tuesday for 2.5 hours. We tend to stick to about 2 hours of presentation material, and then we've got 30 minutes for questions, and participants get to talk to people in the cattle industry. So that's, sometimes it's professors with the university, sometimes it's veterinarians, people involved with BOA or the IBCA or NBCA or NCBA. Oh my goodness, I'm getting all my acronyms mixed up. But several different cattlemen's groups that we have on there as well. So overall, I think it's a really good program, and our participants seem to really be liking it this year.
Where is this where do you even do this program though?
Absolutely. So it's virtual. So this year we are hosting it through Google Classroom online. So if you are somebody that's interested in getting in this program, you can call at our extension office. I can get you put on a wait list we offer this once every other year. So that's in rotation with our Master Cattlemen's program, but it's virtual, so you can do it from the comfort of your own home.
What else you got for us?
So I'm still looking for some farmers for Purdue on the Farm. So that is a project where we go out and we provide free soil sampling, free forage testing, things like that. We do early season, mid-season, and late season field scouting for corn and soybean producers. And then this year, Purdue really wants to be a little bit more hands-on and offer assistance to farmers that might be considering new applications. So maybe there's a different seed rating that you want to try, or maybe a biological that says it'll cut your nitrogen application down, but you're nervous to test it on your entire field. Give us a call and we can help you set up maybe a small few acre research trial. We'll work with researchers to make sure that we're doing everything right. Actually testing the application. We'll come out, do that same free testing for you during the season. So we'll be out like 3 or 4 times a year. And then at the end of the year, we'll send all the data up to campus. They'll analyze it, and then we'll bring it back to you and tell you if we recommend this application or not. And I think that can help producers make a good decision for them and their farm specifically.
I mean, it sounds like a neat little thing y'all do.
Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoy it. So I was really not a field crops girl until I moved to Decatur County. I was very animal sciences. I went to school for animal sciences. So corn and soybeans was a whole different world, but now I am out there every summer. I've done farms in Decatur County and Jennings County, even on that Franklin County line. But yeah, so we're out there. Early season, mid-season, late season. I really enjoy the early season scouting. I do not love getting in the cornfields mid and late season. It's a little bit intimidating, but it's still a good day. Just an adjustment for sure. I didn't realize I'd need a raincoat for that mid-season corn. But yeah, very interesting. I do that with educators in Jennings and Franklin County. Yeah, and we're excited to get back out there again this season. So if you are a farmer that's interested in this, give us a call at the Decatur County Extension office. Our phone number is 812-663-8388. And if you missed that, I'm sure I will say this phone number several more times during this program because we got a lot going on.
What other things do you got?
Absolutely. So another thing that I'm involved with up here is the community garden. So that is new as of last year. So last year was the first year that we implemented the garden. We do that in partnership with the Decatur County Health Department, Decatur County Recycling, and then also the Decatur County Soil and Water Conservation District and the public library, and I believe the Arts Council has also made some donations. And then your 4-H group as well actually painted our rain barrels for us, so we've got 2 nice rain barrels out there. Do you remember, were you there when they painted them?
Yes, I did. I do remember this.
Yeah, it seemed like a fun time. Did you guys enjoy it?
The little ones enjoyed it a lot.
Yes, and I love seeing the rain barrels out there. I think it's kind of fun that we got 4-H involved with that as well. But so this year, the community garden, we are doubling the size of it, which will be super exciting.
How big is it currently?
Oh, goodness. I know last year we had, 12 4-foot by 6-foot in the ground beds. And then we had 5 handicap accessible, or maybe 6 handicap accessible raised beds, and then we had 4 traditional raised beds. So we're doubling all that. There's double of everything. We're doubling the size of the pollinator garden. Some of the girls involved with the project talked about doing a sunflower room. So we want to plant sunflowers in a circle, and with like a doorway in it and a bench in the middle of it, so you can sit in the sunflower room as like a nice little zen spot. So hopefully that works out, and I think that'll be really, really neat. But we are tarping, so our garden went in where there was a lawn. So something that we need to do to help prep the soil is lay down a garden tarp to kill the grass. And that's a nice way to do it because we're not applying any herbicides or anything to that lawn. We let the grass, we just block out the sunlight, the grass dies, all the nutrients in the grass then returns to the soil. So we're not removing any nutrients from that area before we put in our garden. So that's a fun way to do it. But the tarp, to tarp a space this big, is really big, and it takes a lot of hands to make that happen. So if you are somebody that is interested helping out with that community garden, we are doing that March 23rd at 11 a.m. And that is located at the park next door to the Decatur County Health Department. I believe that's Ireland Street that it's on.
So I'm just gonna ask the same question I
You're
asked
good.
earlier. I mean, what do you have other than the community garden, the cattle class, and Purdue on the farm?
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing that we're doing is chicken embryology. Do you know what embryology is?
I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the eggs.
Something to do with eggs. Yep, so embryology is the study of embryo development, and we do that with chicken eggs. So we talk about how chicks grow. So it takes, do you know how many days it takes for a chick from incubation day 1 until hatch day?
I'm going to guess maybe a month?
Yeah, a month is a good guess. So we say 21 days. And there's, give or take a 24-hour window, so some might hatch earlier, some might hatch a few days later, but typically it's 21 days, and that is from the first day of incubation. So I just finished up this program down in Dearborn County, and we'll be starting up again in Decatur County. We're doing this at the Greensburg Elementary School with their 3rd grade class. So they'll get to help us put the eggs in the incubator, set the incubator up, and then we'll be talking about what's happening in the eggs. So some weeks they'll be growing feathers, other weeks they'll actually be absorbing calcium from the shell to put the calcium on their bones and harden their bones, which is really neat. And then we'll also candle the eggs, so the kids will be able to see those embryos get bigger throughout the month, and actually maybe even see some movement. So very, very exciting stuff. And then at the end they'll get to see cute baby chicks hatch and be fuzzy, and we can talk about how we take care of our chicks, also different chicken breeds, and maybe some feather science as well.
Sounds very interesting.
Yeah, I'm very excited. And the chicks from the Dearborn program I actually took home with me. So they've got a nice happy home in my garage right now. They're set up in their brooder. So after they hatch, they still need a nice warm safe space. They're too young to be out in the fields pecking away because unfortunately they're cute and fuzzy and easy prey. So they get to stay in the brooder where it's nice and warm and safe until they're a little bit bigger. But out of our dozen that we incubated in Dearborn County, we had 8 out of the 12 hatch. So that's a 66% hatch rate. So typically for beginners, they say anywhere from 50 to 70% is kind of what's expected. And then people that do this professionally tend to have an upper 80s% hatch rate. So with just a dozen chicks, that hatch rate goes down pretty quick, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And then I attempted to determine the gender of the chicks based on their feathers. So that's another thing is some of the first true feathers that form on a chick are on their wings. And with female chicks, the wings develop faster than the male chicks. So if you're looking at the chicken wing, and imagine like your arm. So the tip of your finger to your elbow, the feathers on a female chick are going to be longer there than they would be on a male chick. So a male chick, all their feathers look even from like the armpit to the fingertip, versus a female chick, they're really long from the fingertip to the elbow and then kind of shorter from that elbow to the armpit. So I think if I did my guessing right, or my scientific reasoning right, I have 1 rooster, and then we'll have 7 hens.
Dang.
Out of the 8. So I'm pretty excited. I really hope I don't have that backwards and have 7 roosters and 1 hen. I would be really upset because I'm excited to have some layers from that. But yeah, so that was a really exciting project. The kids in Dearborn County were really into it. So I'm hoping that our class with Greensburg will be really excited for that as well. And I think they are.
Okay.
Have you guys ever had chickens?
No, we live in town, so...
That's true. So chickens might not be in the cards.
I mean, when I did preschool, there was this chicken box or something like that.
Okay.
That they did. But other than that, I've had really no experience with chickens.
Gotcha. See, I got attacked by a chicken when I was a kid, so up until recently I swore up and down that I just was not going to have chickens. I was not interested in them. I'd have goats or dogs or whatever. And then we recently moved to a small property, and so we've got some land now, and I thought, okay, we'll try having chickens. And now that I've got them, I'm obsessed. I'm listening to like chicken podcasts and watching chicken themed YouTube videos, and I think I've gone a little bit crazy about it. And I've learned that other people also go crazy once they get their first chickens. There's a thing called chicken math where you think you're gonna have like 5 chickens, and then suddenly you have like 20. People trade them like Pokemon cards. So like I've got a couple Rhode Island Reds, and I've got a couple Easter eggers and a couple olive eggers, and yeah, it's crazy. And the real crazy people, then they throw ducks and quails and turkeys in the mix and just have all kinds of things. So we'll see.
I can only imagine.
We'll see. I do kind of want some ducks too, but my husband's telling me to slow down. We'll start with the chickens that we have. So, yep, we are excited about that. Do you have any questions about that?
Actually, I don't.
No worries. If you think of any questions, and we've already moved past it, feel free to be like, hey, wait, let's go back to that. You're all good. But if not, we'll just keep trucking along because I got a couple more things. So another thing that people are really excited about in our Decatur County is the rain barrel program. So you've got some experience with our rain barrels. If anybody doesn't know about our rain barrel program, we do that in partnership with Decatur County Soil and Water and Recycling. We get, I want to say maybe 15 to 20 barrels. The class typically fills up pretty quick, but we start with a presentation. So what is a rain barrel? How do we set them up at our home? What are different things that can be made into rain barrels? And then how can we use our water and things safely? We also touch a little bit on composting, and we tell you how to make more of them. But then at the end of the program, everybody leaves with a free rain barrel. So we're really excited that we can provide that to people in Decatur County. We've got 2 set up at the community garden. So if maybe you're on the fence, you want to know a little bit more about these rain barrels, swing by there. I'm not sure if they have them out. They might still have them up for the winter. But I imagine by March 23rd, we'll have those back out for people to see as well. So if you're interested, the Rain Barrel program will be April 9th. We're doing it at the new community building on the fairgrounds. So that's that big giant pole barn they just put up. We'll have the presentation in the back, and everybody will leave right from there with their rain barrels. So I'm really excited about that. April 9th, and then if you want to RSVP, we'll actually have you call the Soil and Water office. So their phone number is 812-663-8685, extension 3.
So I would recommend going to that program. Rain barrels are extremely useful, trust me.
Yes, yeah, they're super awesome. I'm even thinking about making some more for my new property. I know where I'm at. I'm on a cistern, which is like its own fun type of rain barrel, in a way. So yeah, I'm excited to get some more rain barrels. But yeah, it's a great way to capture water, especially with all the rain that we're having right now. Like, I'm sure if those rain barrels were out right now, they would be like full to the brim. Yeah. Yeah, so great way to utilize that, cut down your water bill.
Of course, by summer, they're going to be dry as a bone.
Yeah, I mean, they are pretty efficient because we hook them up to our gutters, so whatever is landing on your roof that you have it connected to goes right down the gutters. So you'd actually be surprised, even with a light rain, we do get them filled pretty well. But yeah, if you're using them pretty regularly, you might run out of water somewhat fast. So even if you do have a rain barrel, if you've been to our program in the past, that's a good point for me to expand on, Lucas, is that you can get multiple rain barrels. We're not keeping tally. So if you've gone the last 2 years and you want to go a third year and get a third rain barrel, absolutely do that. We can show you how to daisy chain them together, so they'll act as overflows. So if one fills up, it'll just start filling the next one. So yeah.
Okay.
Another thing that we have coming up, and I've already gotten a few calls about this, is AI school. And for my scientific people, I don't mean artificial intelligence. My animal science people know what I'm talking about. It's artificial insemination. So that's a method that producers in the cattle world use instead of keeping a bull or dealing with all that. They just do the reproduction themselves. But it's good to have some technical training. Because if you don't know what you're doing, it can get kind of messy. So if you're a producer that's interested in becoming certified, that program will be April 21st and 22nd. We'll be doing it at Cox Livestock in Ripley County. And if you're interested, go ahead and call us now. We do have a wait list, and that wait list does tend to fill up, or the class tends to fill up pretty quick. But we send the registration link out to anybody who is on the wait list first. And then if we don't fill up our class from that wait list, then it'll go public. So don't wait for it to go public. Call us now. Go ahead, get on the wait list. So again, my phone number is 812-663-8388. It'll be 2 days, so again, April 21st and 22nd. That's a Tuesday and a Wednesday. We'll have lunch paid for, and it'll be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. both days. So one day will definitely be more classroom versus the second day will probably be more hands-on, but you definitely get to be hands-on. We'll have live cattle there for both days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is there anything, do you have any recommendations for that sort of thing, or?
Like what to wear or?
Something like, yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to show up, we definitely recommend wearing your barn clothes. Poop flies with cattle. Oh my goodness, they flick their tail and you'll get kind of dirty. So I definitely recommend bringing a change of clothes, bring your barn shoes, obviously closed-toed shoes, things like that. No flip-flops around the cattle. But yeah, it's a good day. It's also a great way to meet other producers in the area, other people that are actively breeding cattle. And I always say that farming takes a village. It's good to have resources around you and know who's doing what around you. you can brainstorm and come up with different ways to do certain things. Even if it's not AI related conversation at this workshop, you could be talking to the person next to you about, man, I'm having a hard time figuring out this water issue or how I'm feeding my cattle currently. So yeah, networking is another great thing that you gain from that as well.
Okay.
So this time of year, people also think about soil tests because the weather gets nice and warm like this. And I know in February, I was like, man, I really want to go out and start gardening, but I know that we're like still in false spring. So like, I think we've got snow in the forecast for next week. So we're not.
I thought it was this week.
Was it this week?
I could have sworn that it was sometime this week.
I don't know. With Indiana weather, it changes like that. So yeah, we'll go between warm and cold a few more times. So maybe not ready to put stuff outside in the garden yet, but we can definitely start thinking about soil testing. So people call me and ask when's the best time of year to soil test. I always say it doesn't really matter when you soil test. What matters is being consistent the following years. So if you typically soil test in the fall, I'm going to tell you to continue soil testing in the fall. If you enjoyed soil testing in the spring, continue soil testing in the spring. The more important thing is being consistent the time of year that you're testing, and then also the lab that you utilize. So there's a couple different soil testing labs around the state and tri-state area. So you've got different options, but the way that they process their data might be a little bit different, so you might get slightly varying results depending on the lab that you're going with. So I just recommend using the same one. And if you need to take a soil test, we have 2 soil probes actually available for you to borrow from our Decatur County office. So again, that's that big pole barn building at the fairgrounds. Just show up and say, I'd like to borrow a soil probe, and all we ask is that you bring it back. That way other people can use it too. And we want to make sure that we're testing at the correct depth as well. So if we're testing too shallow, where the roots aren't going to be growing, then it doesn't really matter what nutrients are there. So like most of our vegetable crops will recommend soil testing anywhere from 6 to 8 inches in the soil. If we're up 4 inches or down 12 inches, most of our roots aren't going to be there. So we want to know what the roots are taking up in that area and what that nutrient profile looks like. And I don't think I have any more on soil testing. Do you have any questions about soil testing?
So how difficult is it to do soil testing?
It depends on the ground. So if you're in a drought, I think it's kind of tough to get that probe in the ground, just because that ground is hard as a rock, it's dry. The probe is not wanting to go in versus, maybe like a day from now or 2 days from now, I think would be a good time to try and get that probe in the ground. So when the ground's not frozen and when we're not in a drought is when you're going to have the easiest time. I also think lawns are a little bit easier to probe than like crop ground. Yeah. And we also want to make sure that we're sanitizing the equipment between use. So some ground holds different disease than other grounds. So there might be soybean cyst nematode in one field and not in the other field. So it's really important that we're cleaning all the dirt off of our probes before we're introducing that into a new environment. Same thing can go for vegetable gardens. Maybe we sample around a tomato and there's a tomato virus in that soil. We don't want to bring it to somebody else's garden and transfer that virus that way. So we try to make sure that we do a good job cleaning that probe. But I definitely recommend if you're borrowing our probe, go ahead and give it another wipe down. Wipe it down when you're done using it, just like gym equipment, right? So we'll keep all our diseases to ourselves, all our soil diseases.
Do you have anything else for us?
One more thing that farmers and applicators might be interested in is there is another PARP event this spring. So it's happening in Franklin County. I am not the coordinator for that. I am the messenger. But it will be tomorrow, March 12th, beginning at 9 a.m. That PARP will be at the Franklin County Fairgrounds. And if you are interested, give Veronica at the Franklin County Extension office a call, and her phone number is 765-647-3511. And I believe it goes until 11, so pretty quick day. But I know they do a good job over in Franklin County. So if you still need part points, that's a good one to go to.
Okay.
All right. You got anything else for me?
No, not that I can think of off the top of my head.
You're good. That's all good.
Well, thank you for listening to us at WTRE. I've been here with the Purdue Extension Office, and tune in tomorrow for more. Yeah.
Thank you.